Hello, Taurus, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self and ultimately create the life that you desire? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I do have the tarot deck that I'll be using already shuffled, as well as the decks that I'll be using in the extended. And I got a new deck this past week, so I'm also going to be doing an overall theme of the reading, just one card, just because I want to get used to it. So any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing is to please remember that these are general readings. They are not going to resonate fully for everyone. So do remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Taurus, in your recent past, you have look at the bigger picture with the Seven of Wands. So it looks like this is about something that you're really determined to either have or complete or do. And this determination, I feel like it's felt like it's led to a lot of empty results. Like I feel like meaning that things just haven't progressed in the way that you had hoped or wanted them to. And the universe, especially in regard to your recent past, is asking you to look at the bigger picture. Look at what's really going on behind the scenes of the energies. Because in your current energy, you have step out of your comfort zone with the Strength card. So right now, your energy is a lot about faith. It's about having confidence in whatever it is that you desire. And in your immediate future, you do have hold your vision. So whatever vision this is that you're determined to have, the universe is asking you to tap into a whole new level of faith, a level of faith that's actually very outside of your comfort zone, a level of faith that you probably haven't tapped into before, whether that's faith in yourself, your capabilities, in the universe, and what's possible in general. The universe is asking you to tap into a deeper level of faith there, because then in your immediate future, like I said, you have hold your vision with the Temperance. Now, this Temperance card is a card of patience, but it can also be a card of balance, right? It's learning to find that balance between knowing what it is that you need to do, and then also believing that the universe has your back on your path. It is realizing that, whenever it comes to manifesting or creating or just, trying to live the life that you desire, it's not something you have to do alone, and it's not something you are ever doing alone. The universe does have your back, but learning to believe that is the key to getting to experience that. Now, the overall theme for the reading is leap. It says you go first, the universe will catch you. And I feel like that's definitely playing into this, like, step out of your comfort zone, really needing faith kind of energy here. So let's start. Let's dive in a little bit deeper. Taurus, let's look here at your recent past. Look at the bigger picture with the Seven of Wands. Recent past for Taurus. One more. This is for Taurus's recent past, please. Taurus's recent past, please. The Ace of Wands. King of Swords in reverse. So there is a lot of really determined energy here. But it's also coupled with a lot of doubt. Determination coupled with doubt, which honestly isn't a terrible combination, because we have to experience doubt to deepen our faith. This King of Swords upright is some of my favorite energy in tarot, because it really talks about that energy of equanimity. Equanimity being finding that certainty within that allows you to be so certain that you are still going to get what you want out of this life, regardless of what your circumstances look like in the moment. We have to remember that our circumstances are literally just a product of our past thoughts, beliefs, and actions. So therefore, what we're looking at now in our reality is a product of where we've been. Therefore, where we're going can be a product of the energy that we put in now. But I want to go deeper into that because I know that truth can be really triggering for a lot of people, because people can be like, oh, well, this happened to me and this was out of my control and so on and so forth. And though that's absolutely true, we have to remember that 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions stem from our subconscious. Only 5% of the way that we interact with our reality is conscious. So 95% of you, although there's a 5% of you that wants things to work out and wants to get whatever it is that this vision is, there's 95% of you that is most likely working against you. Doesn't feel that you're capable, doesn't think you're good enough, doesn't think that you're deserving, doesn't think that it's possible. And that part of you is the majority of your movements, choices, and decisions. So when it comes to manifestation and creating and living the life that you desire, it comes down to realizing that the majority of the work actually happens within. Because manifestation can make it look like it happens overnight. It can make it look like you get to wherever you're going like that. And it feels like it happens like that, or it looks like it happens like that from the outside looking in. But to you, you understand that you've done the work both within and without to get there. And so this King of Swords in reverse, there's some doubt here. This is not being able to find that certainty in the uncertainty, which is common. You're a human being going through real human experiences, so it makes perfect sense. But this energy here is never going to get you to where you're trying to go, but you have to face it to flip it on its head. So if you dealt with a lot of uncertainty and a lot of not being able to see the path forward, or not, experiencing things working out, like if you've been dealing with that in your recent past and maybe still in your current energy, just know that it doesn't mean that things aren't happening. It means that you're facing a lot of your limiting beliefs in real time. And the way that you respond to those limiting beliefs is going to determine the way that you create the reality you're looking for. Because when people experience their limiting beliefs in real time, that's going to determine whether or not someone gets to where they're trying to go. And that's actually where most people give up. That's where most people give up on themselves or a dream or a vision or the universe, is because they experience these obstacles and they say, see, all of the reasons why I thought this wasn't possible was correct, when in reality, it's just an obstacle. All right, recent past for Taurus. Wow, I've talked a lot and I pulled one card, so bear with me. Recent past for Taurus. But it's good that you have this kind of determination type energy here. But yeah, I mean, this is an energy of not, you have Six of Pentacles in reverse and the Chariot in reverse. This is not feeling reciprocated, not feeling like things are moving forward, feeling very stagnant, feeling very stuck. But this energy, it was happening for a reason. We have to face our limiting beliefs in real time in order to not allow them to control us. Because like I said, most people, when they start to see their limiting beliefs show up in reality in the form of their circumstances, whether it be financial or relationship wise or whatever the case is, they're going, if you're not doing the work and becoming aware of your limiting beliefs and so on and so forth, those limiting beliefs will control that 95% of you where they lie, will control the way that you respond. And the way that you respond to whatever's happening to you is going to be the way that you create your reality moving forward, on both an energetic and a like a material level. So not just the way that you respond in terms of like the actions that you take, but also in terms of like the way that you think about your reality, everything like that. I feel like we're getting deep in this reading. Okay, recent past for Taurus. Yeah. Because the lack of, so Four of Pentacles in reverse, Page of Swords in reverse, and then Ace of Swords in reverse. So experiencing quite a bit of lack of stability. Maybe not having what it is that you feel you need or you desire. But ultimately, with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, to me, this is actually feeling like you don't have what you need. Again, whether it's on a financial level or the love that you need or the support that you need emotionally, whatever it is, this is coming from a place of not feeling like you have what you need. Now, when we feel like we don't have what it is that we need, we're going to chase certain outcomes, because we're going to say, if this doesn't happen the exact way that I need it to happen, if this doesn't work out, or if this doesn't go exactly as planned, then the worst case scenario, I'm not gonna have the money I need to pay my rent. I'm not gonna have whatever it is that I need to be safe and okay. And again, totally rational, totally understandable. But oftentimes when we're experiencing these phases of instability, Usually what that is if you look at it from a bigger picture perspective, it's kind of like a test. The universe will throw us situations where it looks as if our worst case scenarios or worst fears are coming true to see how you'll react. Are you going to choose fear or are you going to choose faith? Now, if you don't know anything about the law of attraction or anything about limiting beliefs or anything about how this stuff works, of course you're going to choose fear and you're going to choose the safe route. And you're going to choose whatever it is that you need to do to survive, which is typically why most people spend their life stuck in survival mode. But that isn't how you have to live. When you start to realize how powerful you really are, how much the universe really is supporting you in every sense of that, and then ultimately the fact that whatever the life that you desire is possible, when you start to realize and believe those things, then your life starts to unfold for you instead of keeping you stuck in those patterns of allowing your limiting beliefs to control you. Now, when you are in this kind of survival mode energy for long enough, you can start to lose a lot of faith and a lot of excitement for where you're headed, because it can feel like things are just always going to be the way that they've always been, and I get that. But right now in your current energy, faith is playing such a vital role right now. So let's see what Taurus is dealing with in their current energy. Current energy for Taurus. Step out of your comfort zone with a Strength card. This is where I like to mention, I have people that tell me I talk too much in my readings. If I'm not the reader for you, I'm okay with that. You don't need to tell me about it in the comments. Current energy for Taurus. Clarifying. Step out of your comfort zone with the Strength card. The Lovers in reverse with the Tower. Okay. The fact that you don't feel good enough for your vision, which is ultimately this Ten of Pentacles here. Let's break it down, Taurus. You don't feel good enough for what it is that you want. You don't think you're capable. You don't think you're deserving. Why would anyone choose you? Why would you get the happy ever after? Why would you get the happy ending? That's a belief that you've held for a while. And I feel like that belief has led you to a lot of dead ends. Because again, when we don't believe that we're deserving and we're not aware of the fact that the majority of our limiting beliefs are controlling our reality, then you're going to do whatever you need to do to survive. But the thing is, and part of the process of manifestation that a lot of people miss, is that we don't attract what it is that we desire. You don't attract what you want. The universe doesn't bring you what you want. The universe brings you who you are and what you believe. If you believe that you are deserving, you're going to attract things that that align with that belief, whether it's finances, love, so on and so forth. But if you believe that you're not deserving, or that life always has to be difficult, or that everything has to be a challenge, or that you always have to be burnt out, or that you always have to be unhappy in order to survive, well, then that's what you're going to experience. Now, these limiting beliefs that you've acquired through your experiences, through childhood, and that have gotten whatever experiences that you had that have gotten you to this point right now watching this video, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you believe the way that you do. It is, however, if you want things to change, your responsibility to get to the center of how these beliefs are controlling your reality. If you are not living the life of your dreams, if the outcomes that you desire are not happening for you, then there is a part of you that does not believe it's possible. And when you don't believe it's possible, you're going to chase. You're going to put more energy into trying to force and chase instead of allowing yourself to just be and attract whatever it is that you desire. And chasing energy will always push away whatever it is that you desire. The more that you think you need a certain outcome, the further away you are from having it. So the less that you can feel you need it, and the more that you can realize that the universe is always supporting you. You have everything that you want and need and desire in order to survive. Look at you. You've made it this far. Now, the extent of the abundance that you experience is going to be determined by the extent that you believe in that. It's not just about spirituality. This stuff is about psychology too. Your thoughts become your beliefs, become your actions, become your reality. Current energy for Taurus. Current energy for Taurus. So this is Ten of Cups and Ten of Pentacles. Like, this is just like the abundant life that you desire. You have the Tower in reverse. I want more on this Ten of Cups and Tower in reverse. Because Ten of Pentacles to me is like material abundance. Like whatever it is you want materially, whether that's wealth, relationships, whatever it is. Ten of Cups to me is more about the feeling, the emotional fulfillment surrounding the experience. Okay. Clarifying the Tower in reverse and the Ten of Cups. I want more on this message. Because there's something... See, Taurus, I'm going to be honest with you here. You don't trust the universe at all. And you don't really trust yourself either. Yeah, because there's that King of Swords in reverse again and Justice in reverse. And then there's the Ten of Pentacles. So, like I said, Ten of Pentacles and Ten of Cups. You don't really trust the universe much here. Now, if you've been through experiences where you have experienced a lot of loss and lack and your limiting beliefs coming to reality, then of course you're going to lose a lot of your faith. Of course you're going to have a hard time trusting the universe. The universe always has your back, and your belief in that is going to determine the extent of your peace on your journey, the extent of your peace and your happiness. When you believe that you are being supported, you feel more capable. You feel like anything is possible. You'll be more willing to take risks and more willing to bet on yourself because you believe that you have support along the way, whether that's in the material world or by the universe. And right now, the universe is asking you with the Four of Swords and the Five of Swords to do some introspection on this lack of faith and almost like belief that survival mode is it for you. Because this survival mode energy is this belief that like you have to live in lack or you have to burn yourself out or you have to be unhappy in order to have whatever it is that you need. And that's keeping you from being able to tap into the level of faith that is required to get you to the vision that you're wanting. So the universe is asking you to do some introspection here because there's a part of you that is needing to let go of control a little bit and to do a little bit more trusting. I feel, Taurus, as if you're having a bit of a hard time trusting. Maybe you've been screwed over before and maybe you've never experienced abundance. So it makes plenty of sense why you believe the way that you do, but your beliefs are and will always be the root of your results. Current energy for Taurus, please. Current energy for Taurus, please. Current energy for Taurus. Okay. Queen of Wands in reverse with the Justice. And the Four of Cups. I'm going to take all three of those. Kind of smiled because this Queen of Wands in reverse energy is coming out kind of as what I like to call my fit throwing energy. And this has a tendency to be my fit throwing card. Now, this does not mean that you are throwing a fit or that you are acting like a child. I actually experienced no less now, but a lot when I was building my business as a spiritual life coach and tarot reader. I quit my job out of the blue, didn't have a backup plan, just knew I wanted to pursue something in spirituality, gained tarot as a tool, started reading for friends, started working out, started feeling led to do it, started a business. And all this time, I didn't have an income because I quit my job out of the blue, didn't have a way to pay bills. But somehow every single month, I always had exactly what I needed in order to survive. Now, in the beginning, it was about survival. And then once I believed that the universe had my back and I didn't have to survive anymore, my fear turned more into faith. And as I, gathered more and more faith, I started actually making money to be able to live, not just to survive. But there were a lot of times along that path where I would have moments of, I'd be looking at my bank account or a bill would come in the mail and I'd have this meltdown. And I'd be like, universe, why the hell are you doing this to me? I can't believe this. Like, I quit my job. I put my faith in you. And this is how I get repaid. Like, literally throwing a fit. And not so much in the beginning, but as things moved on, I would start to hear more and more when this would happen, like, you're gonna feel so silly whenever you see the outcome of this. Like, it was always, you're gonna feel so silly when you see how it is that things turn out. And every single time I'd get whatever it was that I was throwing a fit about, and it would all work out, and I'd be like, yeah, I do feel silly. I feel dumb because I threw a fit, and the universe was just asking me to have patience and to work through some fears and limiting beliefs. Now, it doesn't mean that I devalue my experience. I think I needed to respond the way that I did, to learn the way that I did so that I could get to where I am now. But that's kind of what I feel is happening here, is things aren't working out the way that you thought that they would. And that can lead to you feeling very almost like angry or resentful towards the universe or even towards yourself or towards your path, because you start thinking, why is this working for everybody else? Why not me? Why do I continue to struggle no matter how much energy I put into it? And try your hardest when you're in those moments, because you're not going to be able to avoid it. And it's not good to avoid the way that you feel. But when you're in those moments, try your best. No matter how far in the back of your mind it seems at the time, try your best to remember everything is working out for me. I just can't see it yet. Because this is about leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. Everything is working out. I just can't see it yet. I just don't know how. And wherever you decide to put your focus in that moment is going to be what expands. What you focus on is what's going to expand. And the universe is saying for you to hold your vision. Hold on to the life that you want to live. Hold on to your desires. Don't settle for less. Hold on to your desires. Hold on to that faith. Immediate future for Taurus, clarifying, hold your vision with the Temperance card. Immediate future for Taurus, clarifying, hold your vision with the Temperance card. And that's actually, I just told that story about like my fit throwing. That's actually how that card for me came to be, was every single time I was in these moments, I'd be like, I need to pull cards for myself, which I don't anymore. But in the moment, I'd be like, I need to pull cards for myself. And I'd pull out a card. And every single time I was in that energy, this Queen of Wands in reverse came out. And I was like, okay, that is officially my fit throwing card. Immediate future for Taurus, clarifying, hold your vision with the Temperance. It's happened in a lot of other aspects of my life too, but just the business thing was the first thing that came to mind. Immediate future for Taurus, clarifying, hold your vision. When you're working through fear and you're really outside of your comfort zone and things feel so uncertain and you don't know how everything's going to be okay and you don't know when you're going to get there, if you're going to get there, or how you're going to get there, it's a lot harder to listen to your intuition, because your fear voice, your ego voice, is going to be the loudest. It's going to be the strongest. It's going to be the most believable, because it's going to be the one that you are used to listening to. It's going to be the one that's trying to pull you back into what's comfortable, into what you know, into what you've experienced for so long, which is that survival mode. Your ego loves survival mode because in survival mode, it has control. Your ego doesn't like having to lean on faith, because then it doesn't have any control. It doesn't know how things are going to turn out. So your ego will use your fear, and will use your fear against you to try to get you to make decisions that align with that fear instead of which align with faith. So try to be aware of that in your future. When you are in moments where you're experiencing lots of fear and overwhelm and you don't know how things are going to be okay, try your hardest to remember that in those moments, that is your ego using your fear against you. Your fear is not a truth. I'm not saying it's not valid. You should absolutely face it and experience it and understand that it has a place. But all that it is an illusion based on what you've experienced, an illusion based on expectation. Your expectations are probably in alignment with fear if you've been in survival mode for so long. So it makes plenty of sense why you feel the way that you do. But that allowing your fear, don't stop feeling it. Feel what you need to feel, but do not ever allow yourself to make any decisions when you are experiencing moments of fear and overwhelm and anxiety and uncertainty. Allow yourself to come down, back to grounded, to allow yourself to recenter, to allow yourself to find that faith again before you make any decisions. Because if you make decisions based on fear, you will sabotage the path that you are ultimately desiring. Now, it doesn't mean you're always going to sabotage it. If you miss one path, and 4 more will open. The doors are always opening for you. It's not like, oh, you're going to make a mistake and you're screwed forever. That's not what I mean by that. But it's about learning to lean on faith over fear. Immediate future for Taurus, please clarify and hold your vision with the Temperance card. And look at that. The Chariot. This is things moving forward for you. Things are progressing. Things are moving forward. You just don't see that because they aren't where you want them to be. I get that. Man, I have been there. I get it. That's where my fit throwing energy would come from. That's where it typically does come from, is when you're upset at the universe about the fact that you're not where you want to be right now. And ultimately, it's because you're fearful that you're never going to get there. Because if you knew with absolute certainty, if you knew that you were going to get to wherever you were going, you had no fear, you had no doubts, you had no limiting beliefs or insecurities or fear or doubt or limiting. Did I say it all? Yeah. Anyway, you had none of that blocking you, and you knew without a shadow of doubt that you were going to get to where you're trying to go. You wouldn't be afraid that things aren't happening for you right now, because you would know, I'm going to be okay. Everything's happening and I can just enjoy the journey. But life isn't that easy. We do have fears, doubts, insecurities, limiting beliefs that block us from being able to be fully present on the journey. And every single moment we have a choice. And that choice is going to be, are we going to allow those fears, doubts, insecurities, and limiting beliefs to control my decision making, to control my reality? Or am I going to be aware of them, understand that they exist, and they always will exist, but I don't have to choose them. I can choose faith. I can choose the faith that everything's going to work out for me, that I never have to settle for less than what I deserve, that I can always choose to allow my dreams to become my reality. I can choose the path that seems the scariest. I can choose the path that people don't often take, because they often do choose the path of fear. I saw this post on Facebook, and it said, it was actually Jim Carrey doing a speech. I don't even know where it was, but in it, he said something along the lines of, most people choose their path based on fear, disguised as what seems practical, disguised as practicality. And then he went on to say, like, most people think that the life that they desire is so impossible and just ridiculous to think that it would ever happen, that they choose a safe route. They choose the relationship that doesn't really make them happy, that doesn't really treat them all that well, but at least it's a relationship. Or they choose the career that brings them absolutely no sense of fulfillment, but at least it pays the bills, right? The safe route will never get you to where you're trying to go. And ultimately, when you take the safe route, things will always fall apart, because the universe is always trying to bring you towards what is meant for you, towards what your heart desires, towards what your soul desires. So when things fall apart in your life, again, you're a human having a human experience, so of course you're not going to think of things this way, but try your best to say, okay, I look at this as redirection. I look at this as the ability to choose differently next time, the ability to choose more in alignment with myself and the life that I truly desire. Because the more that you can do that, the more that things are going to unfold for you in really, I mean it when I say this, miraculous ways. It's called a leap of faith for a reason. If we were certain about everything that was ever going to happen in our life, then there would be no freaking point to any of this. Immediate future for Taurus. This is an interesting message, and I love that we're ending the reading on it. You have an attachment to lack, Taurus. You're really, so 5 of Pentacles in reverse, Devil, 6 of Wands in reverse. You're really so used to not having what it is that you desire and what it is that you need and what it is that you deserve, that you've kind of accepted it as the truth of your reality, that you're never going to have what it is that you desire and deserve. And again, maybe you've never experienced it, or maybe you feel you had it and you lost it. There is always an opportunity for you to live a better life. Always. The universe is always there to support you toward the life that you deserve, but it's not going to happen overnight. And it's not going to happen out of the blue. It's going to happen with intention, effort, faith, and determination. So you have the determination, right? Now, let's add in the faith. Sprinkle in some faith. Sprinkle in some genuine belief that you are deserving of having what it is that you desire, so much so that you're grateful for it now before it even appears in your life. And no, that's not easy. I struggle with this on the daily. I talk about these things because I am also experiencing these things, but every single time I tap into these truths, I always prove myself right in a good way. So don't allow yourself to believe that lack is the only way for you to live. If you see somebody else living the life that you desire and you say, oh, that sucks that I'm not supposed to have that life. I'm just supposed to be alone forever. And there's nothing wrong with being alone if that's the life that you choose. But I'm just supposed to be alone forever. I'm always going to struggle financially. I'm never going to be able to have my own business. I'm never going to be able to do that thing I want to do because it's just not meant for me. Well, yeah, if you believe it's not, then yeah, you're never going to get there. But it is possible. Hold your vision. All right, Taurus, we're going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to look at what you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. I really liked this reading. I hope that it resonated for some of you guys out there. And as always, Taurus, thank you so much for your support of my channel. And I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Taurus.